40 years. That's how long it's been since the Scottish League trophy resided anywhere other than Glasgow. Since Alex Ferguson's Aberdeen secured back-to-back titles in 1985, the Scottish Premiership has been defined by an economic and sporting duopoly, the old firm of Celtic and Rangers. They've split the league dominance for over a century, but the traditional power dynamics of Scottish football have been inverted. Heart of Midlothian occupies the summit of the table with a substantial lead. This is not a statistical anomaly or a product of temporary variance. It is the result of a revolutionary alignment between fan ownership and advanced data analytics that has exploited a systemic collapse within the Glasgow Giants. As we discuss if Hearts can keep their run of success going through the end of the season, be sure to hit that subscribe button for us down below to follow the channel, and get down in the comments section to let us know if you think this is the year everything changes in Scotland. You can also keep up with the developments in the Scottish League and leagues all over the footballing world by signing up for the Route 1 newsletter using the link down below in the video description. It's the best daily newsletter in football, and it's completely free. The Old Firm rivalry is historically unique, rooted in the socio-religious and political divisions of 19th century Glasgow. Celtic, founded in 1887 as a charity for Irish Catholic immigrants, and Rangers, the sporting symbol for the Scottish Protestant establishment, built massive dedicated fan bases that transcended local geography. This provided a commercial and psychological advantage that marginalized the rest of the country for decades. The only modern interruption to this dominance was the New Firm period between 1983 and 1985, when Aberdeen and Dundee United briefly overtook the Glasgow clubs. Since 1985, interruptions have been exceedingly rare. In 1986, Hearts came within 7 minutes of winning the title on the final day of the season, only for Dundee's substitute Albert Kidd to score twice in a 2-0 loss, handing the championship to Celtic on goal difference. In 2006, Hearts became the only team this century to split the Old Firm in the top flight, finishing second and pushing Rangers into third place. In 2012, Rangers' financial collapse and liquidation forced the club into the fourth tier, allowing Celtic to win 9 titles in a row before Rangers returned to the summit in 2021. The transformation of Heart of Midlothian is rooted in a strategic pivot toward advanced analytics and a unique ownership structure that balances fan-led stability with world-class technical expertise. Hearts operates under a hybrid ownership model where the foundation of Hearts retains a 51% majority stake, ensuring the club remains the largest fan-owned institution in the United Kingdom. In June 2025, Tony Bloom, the chairman of Brighton and Hove Albion, invested £9.86 million in exchange for a 29% non-voting stake. This legal mechanism ensured that the foundation of Hearts maintained ultimate control over governance while benefiting from Bloom's capital and expertise. Bloom's investment was a calculated, analytical entry into the Scottish market, designed to prove that the data-driven models that transformed Brighton and Royal Union Saint-Gilloise could be successfully exported to the Premiership. The most significant game changer for Hearts has been the exclusive Scottish access to Jamestown Analytics. JTA utilizes proprietary datasets and predictive modeling to identify undervalued talent across global markets. The model operates on a principle of efficiency over excess. Rather than competing with Celtic and Rangers on transfer fees and wages, Hearts utilizes JTA to find players who fit specific tactical profiles and have high growth potential. During the summer 2025 transfer window, Hearts signed 11 new players identified through this system. The results were immediate. By October 2025, the squad's market value had increased by 12.1%, rising to €18.72 million. Hearts generates 2.26 points per million euros of squad value. In contrast, Celtic's return of 0.32 suggests a massive reputational premium, paying for players who have high market values but are underperforming relative to their cost. This framework required a coaching staff capable of translating data into on-field performance. The appointment of Derek McInnes as manager in May 2025 provided that alignment. McInnes has been described as a tactical soulmate to the analytics-driven approach, adopting a playing style characterized by compact defensive blocks, structured transitions, and an emphasis on high-value shot creation. While Hearts has modernized, Celtic has entered a cycle of calamity. Despite an annual wage bill of £26 million, nearly 6 times that of Hearts, the club has struggled with a series of failures on and off the pitch. The season has been defined by managerial turnover and tactical confusion. Brendan Rodgers resigned in October 2025 after a humiliating Champions League exit to the Kazakhstani side Kairat Almaty. Wilfried Nancy was appointed in December, but his tenure lasted only a month before he was sacked in January following a 3-1 loss to Hearts. Martin O'Neill returned to the club to steady the team, but critics argue the club is relying on nostalgia rather than modernizing its footballing department. The crisis is compounded by the Not Another Penny campaign launched by the Celtic Fans Collective. This protest is a direct response to what supporters perceive as years of neglect and complacency from the board regarding European performance and stadium infrastructure. The campaign involves a full boycott of all non-ticket revenue streams, including merchandise and hospitality. Fans have pointed to leaking roofs at Celtic Park and a lack of warm water in restrooms as evidence that the board has confused financial prudence for footballing success. Rangers attempted a rapid, aggressive modernization that backfired. In May 2025, a consortium led by Andrew Kavanagh and the San Francisco 49ers investment arm purchased a 51% stake in the club. They appointed Russell Martin, tasking him with implementing a possession-heavy system. Martin's tenure proved to be a disaster. His tactical insistence on a high defensive line was catastrophic in the Premiership, and they were humiliated in the Champions League by a 6-0 loss to Club Brugge. Martin was eventually sacked in October after a run of results that left the club in the bottom half of the table. He was replaced by Danny Röhl, a tactically elite coach who brought a more disciplined, counter-pressing identity to the team. While Röhl has steadied the club, he inherited a shambolic squad built under multiple previous regimes. Furthermore, the club's Champions League exit created a £20 to £30 million hole in the budget, severely limiting Röhl's ability to overhaul the squad in the January window. The divergence between Hearts and the old firm is occurring against a backdrop of significant shifts in European football finance. The season has been catastrophic for Scotland's UEFA coefficient, with the nation recording only 7 wins from 44 matches across all European competitions. This decline has immediate consequences for the coefficient cliff edge in the 2027-28 season. Scotland will likely lose one of its European places, and the Premiership runners-up will no longer enter the Champions League qualifiers. The illusion of old firm invincibility has been shattered. The ascent of Heart of Midlothian is the result of a revolutionary alignment between fan ownership and advanced data analytics. By integrating the Jamestown Analytics framework and appointing a management team that is tactically elite and pragmatically ambitious, Hearts has demonstrated that strategy can overcome the limitations of the balance sheet. As the season enters its final phase, the pressure on the Glasgow clubs is unprecedented. The success of the Hearts way now stands as a blueprint for every mid-tier club in Europe, proving that in the age of data, strategy can overcome the historical weight of the duopoly. But in order to completely overturn Scottish football, Hearts will need to complete their historic run this season. Can they do it, or is it only a matter of time before one of Scotland's traditional powers returns to their place atop the table? Get down in the comments section and let us know your thoughts. Be sure to hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already followed the channel. You can also leave comments on Twitter and Blue Sky at Pitchside Pub. And be sure to check out our website, pitchsidepub.com. Thanks as always for joining us here on Pints and Punditry at the Pitchside Pub.